Hello and welcome to day 3 at the World Para-Athletics Championships here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. The weather set fair yet again on a day that promises to be special, with more world records and championship records to be broken, no doubt at all. It's the 5th session, an evening session as well on day 3, 9 days in total. Over 1,000 athletes taking part, and it all finishes up on Sunday evening. 186 medal events overall, 27 degrees at the moment, due to get up to around 33, 34. The wind again, negligible. Hasn't been an issue, whether it be a headwind or a tailwind, for both track and field at these games thus far. 18 finals on this day. There are 6 taking part in the morning session, 5 in the field, 1 on the track. Gets underway with the women's discus throw F44. Yao Zhuan, the world and championship record holder in that one. The final on the track, men's 400 metres T36, sees the world champion William Steadman of New Zealand go up against the Paralympic champion James Turner of Australia. Men's shot put F40 final as well for those of shorter stature taking part at 10:15. And we also have the first round, the men's 100 metres T13. Chad Peris of Australia will go in that one, and probably his best chance of ever winning a gold medal at the World Championships. And then we round it out later on with the men's 400 metres T20 opening round, the last event of the morning. The heats in that one. So a stadium that was constructed to host the Asian Games in 1982. It also was then upgraded to be used for the 2010 Commonwealth Games. And here is the first event of the morning. It's the women's discus throw, F44. I'm Tolson Tollett, Steph Fred alongside me, and to take you through this, Will Downing.
Very good morning. We've got 8 going forward to this, and Yao Zhuan very much is the one to beat in this, if at all possible. Sixteen-time global champion. So first of all, the age of 19, Angelina Kolesnikova of Uzbekistan, who've been having a very good games so far. Our lifetime best set this year is 24:03. You want to get the medals, you have to throw over 40. But there is a chance that Funmi Onuwayi might be a candidate. She's gone to 38.77 this year, finished 5th in the Paralympic Games in the shot. Yao Zhuan, the 6-time Paralympic, 10-time world champion, 5 times Asian Games champ. He's been winning major championship medals since Sydney 2000. For the United States, Samantha Hayesen, 5th in the discus, 9th in the shot last year. Next up for Kenya, and she's a 28-meter thrower, is Sylvia Alero. Another British candidate here from Wales, championship debut for Bree Cronin. She's gone to 39.83 this year, so she is a live candidate for a medal. Ida Nessa finished 4th in Tokyo in the discus for Norway at the Paralympic Games. 35.83 her lifetime best, so she's a chance of a medal. And Osiris Machado of Mexico, bronze in the discus in Paris at the Paralympic Games, and she has gone out to 42.57 this year. She's the longest season's best and the 2nd longest lifetime best after Yao Zhuan, who has the world record from Tokyo 4 years ago, and she keeps breaking her own world record as well. 44.73 it was at at the National Stadium there. And it is all F44s all the way. You can ignore the top two figures, as that is for a category not involved here. So Angelina Kolesnikova of Uzbekistan. She actually has the shortest lifetime best and season's best. And she's had her first attempt straight away. We should be whizzing through this. We do have quite a few field finals, which will be taking you through 6 field events in the morning. There is qualification thrown in that as well for the women's club throw. I'm not actually sure. Yes, 20:57. Wasn't actually sure she managed to get it beyond the 20-meter mark, but she did. It's a solid enough start, but she's going to have to go well beyond her lifetime best in order to succeed in this. And for Great Britain, Funmi Oduwaye, field all ready and willing to go. So Oduwaye has had her attempt. Also competes in the shot put from Cardiff. Again, the 2 British throwers here for Wales. That was a foul, by the way. You might have tweaked, red flag.
Now, something quite significant has happened in this event. You'll have noticed in the past that it was classified as a F64 event. However, World Para-Athletics has taken the decision to split out the F64s and the F44s. And while we just wait for this throw, you can see there having good traction on these circles. So important. And you can see Yao of China making sure things are exactly as she wants there. But I will finish up on the classification point after she throws.
Now, I know it says warm up there. These are competitive throws. These are being measured. These are going on the system. As the traffic weaves by, this is New Delhi after all. Yao Zhuan, 6 times Paralympic champion. Gold in the shot, but not in the discus last year. And that's a foul too.
Now, the reason that this shift to splitting up the F64 and the F44 categories is so significant is because it now means that athletes are separated on leg impairment depending on whether or not they use a running blade. So we saw this move happen in the men's categories earlier on across the sprints. We're now seeing it happen in the women's categories across both the throws and the sprints. So we have the women's F44 discus happening right now, and in an hour and a half we'll have the women's F64 discus taking place.
Samantha Hayerson from Adamstown in Maryland at Wake Forest University. Bronze in the discus and the shot at the World Championships last year in Kobe. She's still only 20, and throwers do tend to have a very long career. So if we're all still around for the 2045 World Paralympics Championships, she'll be there. And she's in the lead! 36.61 that's gone out to, and she is way out in front. Brilliant throw. Next up, Sylvia Alero, the 46-year-old. Now, she's gone out to 29 meters in her career and 28 this year, just shy of her lifetime best. Let's see how she does with this. Let you know, because we've got another field event final on the way.
Men's shot put F53. Field of 8 going in this one. The Paralympic and World Champion is not competing. Kitsi. But it is a very strong field nonetheless. Great chance for Hamami Mokhtari to finally go beyond the bronze medal. David Chekasaleni of Georgia, his lifetime best thrown this year of 6.75. Alex Kisi of Czechia. 6th last year in the Paralympic Games. He took bronze in Paris in 2023. He's been a bronze medalist in 2020 and 21 European Championships. He was the world champion in 2019 in Dubai. Next to him, Vyacheslav Kalev, the neutral Paralympic athlete. Bartosz Skorczak of Poland, silver medalist of the Europeans back in 2021, 4th last year, just missing out on a medal at the Paralympics. Amami Mokhtari, twice a bronze medalist in the last World Championships and the Paralympic Games, hoping to go a couple better this time. Hamza Kais of Algeria, 770, his lifetime best. That was thrown this year. Anton Fedorov, also a neutral Paralympic, his lifetime best thrown this year as well, of 7.52 metres. And now all ready to go. India's hope in this one. Ayush Verma, 664. He's going to be have to going some to get himself into contention. It's a seated event, of course, so all 6 throws taken at the same time by the athletes. 8 to go. The seated events are always the first, or one of the first, to go off, because they do take a little bit of time in between throws for one athlete to vacate the seat, another one to come in and get themselves strapped in and practiced and ready to go. Championship record for this set back in Assen, the Netherlands, back in 2006 by Mauro Maximo de Jesus of Mexico. Certainly no issues with the weather. It's a lovely morning again, up around the 30-degree mark, and humidity is very, very high. There's actually a chance of rain over the next couple of days, so we'll see what happens on that front. Hopefully it stays away, especially for events like this. This is the second of the field events out for the morning. There's 5 finals in the field, 1 on the track later on. On the track that's T36. Verma with his first attempt.
so he's up to 5% vision. Isaias Gomes, he's worth watching, definitely. Lifetime best this year of 4:07. For Australia, based in Melbourne, the suburb of Glen Huntly, it's Will Short, whose dad Russell Short is a 6-time Paralympic gold medalist in the throws, 12 medals overall, and his mum, Christine Fisher, a track cyclist in Sydney 2000. Like Will Short, Arthur Millis is championship debutant. He's come through the Weir Archer Centre, St Mary's, Richmond. Alexander Kostin, reigning Paralympic champion, reigning European 5,000 metres champion. On the inside for Algeria, 9th in the 5,000 final and the 15,000 final last year in the Paris Paralympic Games. Abdel Khadi, also those results for the Worlds in Kobe.
On the mark.
So 7 in this. 100 metres. So away we go. Boudra, Kostin, Millis, Short, Gomez, Rivera and Mikhail Al is the top 4 to go through to the final, plus the next 4 fastest across the 2 heats. So the fastest in terms of career is Alexander Kostin. He's here as a neutral athlete, having taken that gold in the 1500 last year in the Paris Paralympics and silver in the 5. He was bronze in the 5,000 at the Worlds in Kobe, and he was just edged out the medals into 4th, but he did pick up bronze in Dubai back in 2019 Worlds. He's still the reigning 5,000 metres European champion, and it's warm, around 30 Celsius again this morning. Sedate pace, so the real race really hasn't started yet. Due to the mathematics, might be a chance for all of them to go through. Not sure if that's possible in this pace, but only 3 laps to go.
You can see them all bunched there at some points, running 3 wide, including Arthur Mills. Mills very, very concerned about making sure he is in the right position, and even though he is covering a greater distance all the way out there. Actually, if you run in lane 2 all the way around the track, you're adding about 7 meters onto that distance. But he started out at the back and then suddenly realized, I don't feel like being here. Actually, I'd rather do the extra work and make sure that I'm in an excellent position. But in the heats, in a championship race, we're probably not going to see fast times. They all know that all that matters right now is that they finish top 4 in this heat, and you want to do that in a way that expends as little energy as possible, especially because it's so hot right now, but also you don't want to leave anything to chance. So all the men in the field that have a good sprint kick will be feeling pretty comfortable with this race plan at the moment.
Fastest season's best is held by Boudra, which is 3:57, which is just a shade, less than a second outside of his lifetime best. Arthur Millis from the London area. St Mary's, Richmond, 4:02 is lifetime best this year. Will Short is 4:07 of a lifetime best set this year. 2 laps to go in this, and Kostin is happily taking his time at front. Short just on his inside. So his dad, Russell Short, 6 Paralympic gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze. His last championship was London in 2017. Tried to trade Will Short up in the throws, but then they found he was a bit better of a runner. Mikhail Suzan has been in his coach, so well, he's keeping the flame burning, there's no doubt about that, and he's going on the outside here, Will Short. He's decided to have a go. This pace does suit him, there's no doubt about that, so it is the top 4 in qualifying. Kostin is still happily trotting along on the inside alongside Boudra, and the pace is pretty much so far as it ever was, with Arthur Millis coming even further on the outside towards the back.
And you just get a little bit of a sense there of the anticipation, not the panic, but just the realization, okay, we are now getting to the business end of this qualifying race, and I need to be in the right position. And you just see there, Millis making his move, going straight to the front for the final lap.
And there is the bell, and Millis has gone, and Short has gone, and that's significant as well, but Arthur Millis has really pounced now, so he is a 4:02 man. The pace has been absolutely fine. They've had a little trot, and now it's almost a 400 metre sprint. He's opened up a really good advantage here. He's still only 19, he turns 20 next month, and the advantage visually on the far side is around 20 metres. You can see it properly now. Bit of a movement coming up also from Messias Gomez, who's had a little bit of a look. Short is trying to stay up on the inside. This has been an impressive piece of dancing by Arthur Millis. Top 4 goes through. Hard to tell really with the time here whether or not the 5th or 6th places will make it. But now here comes Mikhail Al as they turn for home, and it's Al in front. In second place is Millis, moved up to East Boston. Speed moving more on the outside is Brudra, and there's going to be these 4 to go through, and Will Short 5th. Oh no, he's 7th, he's going to have to wait. He's not made it. It's Oliveira in the yellow who's in whose pocket was it in. Well, it was an impressive break by Arthur Millis, Costin as well, quite dominant. Al, you could call him the winner. 18.47.413. Costin in second, Millis in third. Brudra making through 4th, and they're into the final.
That was a fascinating race to watch. I mean, it started off absolutely pedestrian, everybody just jogging around. Millis deciding he was very happy on the outside, running the extra distance. And then you get to the final lap, and suddenly Millis takes off. And I have to say, his change of pace, his speed is majestic. It looked more like he was running a 200-meter sprint down the back. Wonderful long legs, giving you a really, really great stride. But then you saw the rest of the field come back at him. And just watch Millis there. He's realized, okay, I'm not in a great spot in the back of the pack. I want to be on the outside, near the front, where I have options. But this is going to make things really, really interesting in this final. Tactics so important in the 1500 meters, and Millis, potentially you could say he got it wrong on this occasion, but what he did do was force the rest of the field to show his hand, to show their hand. So now he can know the strengths of his competitors and figure out how he wants to play this in the final.
And Mikhail Al, he kept his powder dry very, very well. Brudra making his way through in 4th spot as well. And Will Short gave it a very good go. We have to praise him for Australia. He is 17 years old. Doesn't turn 18 until December. It's his championship debut. Gave it a tilt. Probably didn't work out time-wise. Mikhail Al takes it, 4:18.47. Costin second, Millis third, Brudra 4th. They're all through. Oliveira, Gomez and Short for the moment all have to wait. But now the rest know. If they speed up a little bit, quite a few of them should be going through of Heat 2. Got a good win by Mikhail Al. Just to update you on Silvia Lero, we saw her throw. Opening round 23.17 in that women's discus F44. That put her in second place. She's improved on that to 24.17. It's being led by Rosaris Machado of Mexico, 40.13, with Funmi Oduwai of Britain second, currently 37.31. And as I was saying yesterday, depends where you are. There is a field feed as well for you to watch. Depends on your territory, depends where you are. Have a look if you want to be able to find it. But we'll give you a lot of the best of the field events here, including the long jump that's coming up later on. But Machado leads that women's discus now in another warm New Delhi morning.
Second heat of the men's 1500 metres T13. Jared Clifford, the world record and championship record holder in the T12 category, goes in this one. First 4 to go through as per the opening heat. Suralongkoi of the Philippines, 22 years of age. He's a T12 runner. This is his first major championship for the youngster. 4:25.65, his lifetime best. Jonas Oriema of Uganda. He's part of a 6-member squad competing at these games. He's also going in the 5,000 metres. Kenya's John Lakady. He was 4th in the 5,000 metres last year in Kobe at the World Para-Athletics Championships. Canada's Nicholas Neri. He's a T13, 4:06.70 is his lifetime best. That was set this year. If he runs that here, then he will be going through. Jared Clifford, the bronze medalist in Tokyo 2020, world champion in 2019. He took bronze in London back in 2017, the world and championship record holder for Australia. Ecuador's Rosetta Criollo, T12 runner. Bronze in the 5,000 metres last year at the Paralympic Games for the Ecuadorian. 22 years of age, the reigning current Pan American Games champion, Joel Gomez of the United States. And his major championship debut came back in 2019 for this man from Jordan, Nabil Makbla. So 8 set to go. First 4 automatically qualify, and then we'll be looking at the times for the rest and see who goes through as those next 4 fastest qualifiers. Heat number 2 in the men's 1500 metres T13, the least of the visual impairment, but it does contain 4 who are the medium visual impairment category going in this, and it is the Jordanian Marco Blair who has gone out much quicker at the beginning than the previous heat. So we'll see if this continues as we go through. Very warm morning. The humidity in the air is quite difficult when you're out there. We see some of the athletes, they do struggle with it somewhat. Joel Gomez of the USA in second position, just tracking McNamara there, and Jared Clifford just sitting nicely. He's very good at the longer distance as well, Clifford. He's raced in marathons and the 5,000 metres, the 1,500 metres he does love.
McAblay's intention was very clear right from the start. He wanted that inside lane, and he wanted to take it out reasonably fast. And the advantage to taking the race on and dictating the pace means that you get to decide how the race is going to be won. Now, some would say there's a little bit of an advantage if you're going in the second heat, because you've been able to see what the time's posted from the first, and you can kind of gauge it. And I guess you could collectively make a decision as a heat. Look, we're going to go super fast and try and get all of the auto qualifiers through from this heat. I'm not sure how friendly it is out there, but it would be a good strategy.
Well, it certainly is quicker than the opener. Jared Clifford, the only one going with a hat on to shield himself from that sun. As per normal, he always runs with that hat on, does Clifford, and he looks very comfortable at the moment. McNamara still leads at present from Joel Gomez, the 22-year-old American, and Clifford just sitting there in third position. It is the top 4 that automatically go through. So 2 laps remaining. They're only reasonably bunched up, except for the man at the back there from the Philippines, Ongoy, who's just been dropped off the back as the rest have quickened the pace somewhat, but they've also bunched it well as well. Macablat still leads the way. It does look like he's huffing and puffing a little bit though, with his upper body just moving across, and the rest of them are just tracking behind. You can see the Ugandan athlete in Oriema looking very good on the outside. He just makes a move around in the yellow vest that you can see there just in front of Jared Clifford up into third position. He's looking very strong indeed. The Kenyan John Lakady, who was 4th in the 5,000 metres last year at the World Paralympics Championships in Kobe, in the red vest, just sitting at the back there and looking at about what's going ahead, but they're going to come down and take the bell. It's Macablair who's led the whole way so far from the front, and it's he who'll be taking them down there across the line. I expect a move from a couple of them now, because there are 6 in contention at the front there, because dropped off the back is the Canadian Nicholas Neri as well. So there's 6 there at the moment in with a chance, and there's only 4 places that automatically go through. But with the pace of this one, you would expect those who finish in those 5th and 6th places to make it. The Kenyan, or the Ugandan I should say, has made a move to the front. Jonas Oriema, part of only 6 members at this squad for the Ugandans, and he's looking to get himself through to the final. He's made a break of about 3 or 4 metres out in front, and also looking strong there is Oriema, who is trying to get round the outside of the American Joel Gomez, who's in second place. Clifford there in fourth. At the moment, it looks like those four are going to be the ones that go through. Oriema out in front, and he's stretched his lead to around 20 metres, and he's put the afterburners on down the back straight here, because he doesn't really need to, because it's the four that go through. It's going to be Oriema who takes it. Lacati's going to come across in second place, along with the American in Joel Gomez, and Jared Clifford there in fourth. So it's a lifetime best of 4:01.62 for Oriema. He put some speed on down that home straight. Didn't really need to, because he was way out in front, but I suspect, Steph, he wanted to put in a bit of a performance and just show what he's about.
Well, I feel like there are several athletes in this heat that are going to have to give Mackleba either a high five or a handshake and say thank you for taking that out at pace and pulling this heat along. We're just cleaning up the results now, but I suspect the majority of those fastest qualifiers are going to come from this heat. And you might think, well, maybe does it really matter if you're running from the lead or tracking someone? And it does matter. It's so much easier as an athlete to mentally follow someone else's pace, physically as well to have. That's why they have so many pacemakers in a lot of the Diamond League races. That's how you get the fast time, and Macablay there did a lot of the work for this field.
Do you know what? It's a bit like if four or five people go for a run by themselves, and if there's people with you, it makes it a lot easier to go and get dragged along with them and do the actual exercise. And that's exactly the same type of thing in a different way that we're seeing in this. It was a lifetime best, by the way, for Macablay. He'll go through as one of those fastest qualifiers, because the times from the last one, we're looking all the way down to 4:19s and 4:23s. So it's pretty much looking at this stage as if we've got three from this who are going to qualify, and they have. Macablay has gone through with a lifetime best for him. Sixto Moreta Criello has gone through as well, season best 4:10.25, and also through Nicholas Neri of Canada, who's qualified 4:10.66 for him as well. Which means that Oliveira da Silva will go through from the opening heat as one of the four fastest lucky losers as well. But it is a lifetime best for Oriema of Uganda, who takes victory in the second heat of the men's 1500 metres T13.
So the discus is progressing well. And we're in the third round now. So we saw a bit of Alero earlier on, pushing towards lifetime best. We're now in round 4. Osiris Machado of Mexico, she's currently in the lead. Bronze in the discus in Paris at the Paralympics last year, 42.06. That's close to a lifetime best. Second, Samantha Hayesen of the United States, 40.65. And third, Yao Juan. Now this would be a turn-up. The 21 times major champion, 10-time world champion, 6 at the Paralympics. She's third right now. There's a reason for that. More about that in a sec. Angelina Kolesnikova of Uzbekistan, 21.06. Her best coming in the second round for the 19-year-old championship debutante. And that's 20.75. So her lifetime best is 24.03, which would have her 8th anyway. So the Yao Juan story, 2 fouls in the opening round. That's not a problem in this because we have 8 starters, so there's no elimination after the first 3 throws. She put in a somewhat conservative, by her standards, 39.23, and that puts her in third spot right now. So Sylvia Alero of Kenya finished 7th in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 3 years ago. Birmingham hosting the European Athletics Championships next year. It's a good solid throw out by her career standards. 27.06 in the previous round, by the way, close to her lifetime best. But no throw. That's her first foul to date. The 2 Welsh throwers, by the way, for Britain. Funmi Oduwayi, she is 4th, and Bree Cronin 5th. But Hawaii with 37.91 is 1.30 m outside the medals. And Brie Cronin, you can add a further 80 centimeters or so to that. 2 meters out. Ida Nessa now, fourth in the discus in Tokyo 4 years ago for Norway. 34.29, her best so far to have her in sixth. Gets the white flag. That's a season's best for her. 35.83 her lifetime best. Would still have her in sixth though.
I just get a sense of the release there from Nessa of Norway. The discus is this really unique implement where, unlike the shot put, the discus, it acts more like an airplane wing than an inanimate object. So when you release it properly, look at that, that was a great release.
Lifetime best, 36.11, straight to her coach. She stays in sixth, but that's the throw of her life. And Brie Cronin will be next. 37.08 for Cronin. Have her in fifth spot, so an extra 2 meters if she can manage that. 39.83 is her lifetime best, which would have her in the medals if she could. That's lifetime best from this year. And it is a championship debutante for the Welsh woman as well, who's 22. She's been making good progress on all the throws so far, 36.63, and she stays in fifth. That's how close she is right now, and how close Funmi Oduwai is as well. Fifth in the shot in Paris last year, Oduwai was. She herself, 22 years old. 7.91 in the third round, and that's heading out towards 40, but it's a red flag. A 38.77 is a lifetime best set this year. It's a second foul of the 4. Who's looking to be heading towards 39.23, which is a third place spot of Yao Juan so far. Contention for the medals, definitely. Put out very well, but that foot then touches the top of the ring and she steps out. That's a red flag. Put a lot into it. Might have overtaken Yao Juan. Yao Juan has her own issues to deal with right now. The regular champion. That is shy, 14 meters as well. There's a red flag anyway, so 3 of her first 4 throws have been no throws. She finished second in this, in the Paralympic Games last year in Paris behind Yang Yue, who's not competing in this. She's used to coming first in it. She's won 11 World Championship medals and 10 of them have been gold, and globally she's won 18 medals and 16 have been gold. So the door opens a bit for Samantha Hayerson of the United States. Bronze in both this and the shot in Kobe at the Worlds. Now she gets the white flag, so she's gone beyond 40.65. There've only been 3 throws beyond 40 meters so far. Brilliant third throw. Around 36 meters outside the medals for her first 2 attempts. Mary Lander. She improved it. It's just beyond 40 meters. Won't progress. It was 40.03. And here is our leader. Bronze medalist in Paris a year ago from Osiris Machado. So she's gone out to 42.06. to date. That in the Worlds last year in Kobe, and that's another belter beyond 40. Now 42.57 is a lifetime best. That 42.06 in the third round, bringing her half a metre away. Her lead is 1.5 metres over Hayesen to date. Yao Juan looks a little bit out of sorts. And Machado has pulled out a massive throw, well beyond 40. It's a championship record, 44.36, to beat the mark from Doha 10 years ago from Yao Juan, and that is only 37 centimetres off the world record. Fantastic throwing from Machado, and she is having the competition of her life. Back to the track, the men's 400 metres T11 is complete visual impairment, and 4 are going in this. So in lane 7 for Iraq, silver in the Asian Games 2023 in the 400, Mohamed Ayade and his guide Ahmed Ayade, guides mandatory in this. In 5 for the refugee Paralympic team, bronze in the Paralympic Games last year historically, Guillaume Atungana and his guide Donard Yamjua. Based in England, he's based in Yorkshire, Bingley. Been with the Bradford, Keighley and Skipton club. In 3 for Botswana, semi-finalists for the last 2 World Championships in Paris and in Kobe. Bonkamile, Banketse and his guide Tuso Balaseng. And for Slovenia in 1, semi-finalists for the last 2 World Championships, Robbie Kogovsek and his guide Jan Tercek. So 2 semi-finals in this, and it's the winner who needs to go through, plus the next 2 fastest. 400 metres, complete visual impairment it is. Ayade is the only one with championships to his name before this decade. Atungana had competed for Cameroon, his native Cameroon, before, but he's in the refugee Paralympic team now. He's in 5 with the fastest lifetime best and season's best of the lot.
Set.
So Kogovsek in 1, Banketse in 3, Atungana in 5, and Ayade in 7. There's just the winner to progress in this, and Ayade started very well. He's got the second fastest lifetime best. It is only the winner who's going through. Fastest season's best, along with fastest lifetime best, is Atungana in 5, who's progressing very well with his guide. I am due right now. And the Ayade is just on the outside. Mohamed is 5 years older than Ahmed. They're keeping good pace with Guillaume Atungana. This is where they have to accelerate. They know the story. Here's the next 2 fastest to qualify, but if you win it, you're certain. Just got to get the athlete over the line first. Atungana is coming through well, ahead of Ayade. Atungana takes it. Ayade in 2nd, Banketse in 3rd, and Kogovsek will not be going through in 4th. And 51.96, the winning time, season's best.
Now, there's lots of different ways for an athlete to set up their 400-meter race. I've been in a call room once with another 400-meter runner, and on her hand was written a list of numbers. So it was 90% for the first 100 meters, 80% for the next 50. And she was very, very specific. But the point is, athletes will take it different ways. Some like to go out hard from the start. Some prefer to be a bit more maybe casual is the wrong word because you still have to sprint out at the beginning, but save something for the home straight. But the difference there was Atanga. He absolutely blasted out, covering that first 100 meters in 12.5 seconds, half a second faster than anyone else in that field. You just get an idea there of the amount of effort that's taken out of the athlete. 400 meters are hard to run. 2, it is very hot down there. But back to Atanga, 51.96. He did most of the damage in that 100 meters, and even though Ayade tried to track him down at the end, that gap was just too big.
Yeah, and the guy just had to get that right in Jamua, but they've obviously already picked up a bronze in the Paralympic Games, so they know what they're at. And Atangana, the 51.96, very good. I mean, it's about a second outside his lifetime best. We've seen the effort put in. It's obviously it's warm and plenty trained for that. And the gentleman isn't following his cue. Stand up. Oh, too late now. Yeah, Atangana will be satisfied with that. He's into the final. Atangana winning 51.96. Ayade, he'll have to wait, along with Bankayetse, with that lifetime best of 53.78. Situation in the discus right now. This is Funmi Odawade, who's just come out now. We saw a foul in the 4th round. 35.52. She's close to a medal here. 37.91 in round 3. Still has her 1.3 behind Yao Juan, who's not having the competition that she would like. Look at that set of numbers. 3 fouls out of the 4. Needs something beyond 40 meters, which is more her standard, and she really is struggling right now. And that's another foul, Steph. Problems here.
Yeah, the thing for Yao, just watching her in the past, she's just not bringing the same amount of speed. You can see that instead of all those very fancy foot moves taken, and it's a foul there, you see she stepped out of the circle. Instead of all of those rotations being connected, it's like they're truncated and they're each being done in a separate order, and she's just not getting the same kind of velocity buildup that you normally see on the discus.
Harrison of the United States, 40.65. Oh dear, well the official had a little bit of a slip and slide, but tell you what, he found his mark. That's professionalism. It's shy of 40 meters, it won't be an improvement. 40.65 for Harrison, still has her in the silver medal position, bronze in the discus and the shot in Kobe last year, so this is something to build on, definitely.
Now that there was a beautifully flighted discus. Again, the discus acts more like an airplane wing when you get it right, and it's a little bit like if you've ever thrown perhaps a frisbee in your backyard or a paper airplane. It's not about muscling it to get flight, it's all about the release. So on top of being super strong and super powerful, super fast in the circle, the athletes really have to work on that technical aspect, ensuring that the release on the discus is perfect.
Osiris Machado in round 4 had the throw of her life. A lifetime best by 2 meters, a championship record by 1 meter. This is long, this is very long. Well, it's touching the world record mark. It's a white flag for Machado, who is worth pointing out, he's only 21. She medalled in the 2 big championships last year. It was silver in Kobe, it was bronze in Paris. 44.36 in the previous round. That was a championship record. The world record is 44.73. She was close to it last time. She's close to it this time. She's dominating this.
And the thing as well, bear in mind that we're in a closed stadium right now, which means that there is very little wind. And unlike the sprinters who really like a tailwind, discus throwers really love a headwind. So considering the fact that she is throwing into a pretty stagnant atmosphere, I mean, just imagine what that throw was going to do with a headwind on it.
She's definitely going to be a name for the future. She's a name for right now. She is 1 round away from taking her first championship gold. They've got a brilliant parasport scene across so many sports in Mexico. You've got the Solo Grand Prix that's on every year. Oh, they always make sure they've got a powerlifting World Cup or 2 on. And they've got the World Championships coming up in the next year or 2 years' time. brilliant athletes. Some great stadiums actually, and it's not that long ago they held the Pan Ams in Guadalajara.
Time for the second semi-final in the men's 400 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. John McKeary, by the way, I can't tell you, has a yellow card next to his name, so why that is. The Paralympic champion will go in this one. We'll get to him in a moment or two's time. Namibia's Ananias Chikongo, gold medalist in Rio back 9 years ago in the 200 metres. He goes out in lane 7. He took silver in that event. We're running here, by the way, back in Tokyo 2020. There is the Paralympic champion, Henderson German, Santos Gonzalez of Venezuela, 38 years of age. Lifetime best at 50.58. Gautier Bakunda of France, who was a bronze medalist back in London 2012 and Tokyo 2020. He's been competing since way back in Athens in 2004. There is Santos Gonzalez, the Paralympic champion, who we've seen a moment or two ago. Down on the inside. Lane number 1. His debut came in London back in 2017. Kenya's John McKeary. So just the first that goes through automatically. Next two fastest will advance through to the final. 2 in the top seat.
On your marks.
For the last semi-final. This is the complete visual impairment category, so patches across the eyes, masks on. You have to run with the guide, so it takes a bit of time to get the setup right. The tether you can see there on the ground. Once the athlete is in place, the guide will attach to themselves. That tether has to remain attached for the entire race. The athlete has to cross the line first. The I's will be dotted and the T's crossed before an official result will be given.
Stand up, please.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Bakunda's hand up and then themselves up to get started again. Seems to be a slight issue. Too bad. I suspect it'll be a green card that's given. Eventually, it's one of those things where the athletes in the T11 just have to make sure that they're completely satisfied and happy with everything that's happening. Well, it's a yellow card has been given. Not too sure what that's for, Steph, but it's Chikongo who's been given the yellow. So we have 2 athletes now who are on yellow cards already in this event.
Are confused in terms of what's going on and the significance of getting that yellow card. It's, I guess, what you could say for is a minor infringement. But if you get another one, if you make another minor infringement, then that's done for this race.
On your marks.
I'll start again. Till everyone's in place, and it does take a lot longer, as I mentioned, with these particular T11 races, because it isn't just the athlete getting ready, it's the guy who has to place the athlete in the blocks and make sure the palms of the hands are set, the fingers are behind the line, the tether is set up, all those minor things, shoelaces done up, everything has to be there, ready to go before we get ourselves set. There's that tether I talked about that has to be maintained between the athlete and the guide. So we're ready to go. Men's 400 metres, T11, semi-final number 2. This time we are away, so no issues with the start. And they've all got out to a fairly even start. Mikiri just tailing off at the back there, looking really good down the outside is Shikonga, who we saw given that yellow card a little while ago. But Santos Gonzalez, the Paralympic champion, 38 years of age, but looking like a 20-year-old the way that he's running along with his guide, Charles Serrano. They've moved into the lead as we head round to the final 100 metres. It is the first who automatically goes through to the final, and we'll then be looking at the fastest times for the next two. And Mukunda has made a big run on the inside. Mukunda has gone past Santos Gonzalez, the Paralympic champion. Mukunda's going to take this. Santos Gonzalez is in a bit of trouble for second place. He gets it. Mukunda goes across. 52.38 the time for Mukunda. We'll just get an official time for that in a moment or two. But Mukunda of France has gone through, and he's put Santos Gonzalez into second place. Now I suspect Santos Gonzalez's time might be enough to get him through. It is just. So a season best for Santos Gonzalez in second place, and he will qualify. 52.40 for Gautier Mukunda. He's got plenty of experience. He's been competing for the past 21 years at major championships, and he finished really well at the end there.
Well, Mukunda showed exactly how to run a 400 meters that suits you. With Santos Gonzalez may have been one of the favorites on paper with the fastest personal best, but there were definitely a few questions about his form coming in. He's being almost 4 seconds off that. But you see Mukunda, and while it looks like he was increasing in speed on that home straight, that's not usually the case. All that's happening is he is just managing to hold his form better than the rest of the athletes. And in this case, it's not just him. His guide has to as well. And to maintain that sort of rhythm and to be in sync when both of you are exhausted at the end, it's tough, and the experience certainly helps.
Yeah, Mohamed Ayeda goes through from the first heat as well. He finished second in that. So Santos Gonzalez, despite finishing second, will qualify. So Gautier Mukunda, 52.40, qualification for the Paralympic champion from Venezuela, Santos Gonzalez, season best time for him. Shikonga and Mikiri will miss out.
The women's long jump T12 about to get underway. They have been waiting very patiently because with that, not a false start, but the having to reset at the start, they have been standing out there for a good 5 minutes now, but we are ready to go. Kicking things off will be Linda Hamri of Algeria. She's a 4-time Paralympic medalist, also won 3 World Championship medals, but never a global title. Making her championship debut, Delisa Filipov of Estonia. Big stepping stone here for future success. Ida Linella of Finland, just 21 years old herself, competing in the 100, 200, and long jump. One of the legendary athletes from Germany, Katrin Müller-Rutgart, 43, successful career spanning more than 2 decades, becoming a world champ back in 2003 in the 200 and 400 meters. From Greece, Dilectri Messina. Now she broke a national record that stood for 23 years back in 2023 and has since added half a meter to it. That's Nella Inga of Italy. reigning world champion. A little bit of a disaster in Paris at the Paralympics in the long jump, registering just 3 meters 43. I suspect there may have been a bit of an issue there for Kolbakova with the runway. That is exactly why the women have been out for the past 40 minutes, diligently getting themselves ready, setting things up. You can see that runway there littered with markers. That's to help them know where to start.
So now the second fastest category of the wheelchair racers is the men's 400 metres. Semi-finals, effectively, these are. And one of the great all-time legends of parasport is in this. Not in terms of winning dozens of medals, but he's been around a long time. He's been successful a long time. So you can say this about quite a few in this race. So in lane 8 for Korea, 7 World Championship medals, 2 silver and 5 bronze. 1 of each at the last Worlds in Kobe. That's Yu Byung-hoon. Now he's also wheelchair basketball international. And champion debutant Johannes Balbaert of Belgium from Bruges, 18 years old. He's won the Wheelchair Basketball Cup in Belgium the last couple of seasons with Ostende. European Para-Youth Games champion in the 100 last year. In 6 for Thailand. The Asian Games silver medalist in the 8s 2 years ago. Masabere Asai. Pierre Fairbank, he's been around a while, 54 now. He has won 5 world titles in his time, the first in 98. Did the double in Kobe last year in the 4 and the 8. So Fairbank in 5. And in lane 4, neutral athlete, bronze in the 4 in the Paralympics 4 years ago in Tokyo. 3 medals for the most recent Europeans in Bydgoszcz in 2021, Vitaly Gritsenko. So it's the top 3 and the next 2 fastest who will qualify for the final.
On your mark.
Men's 400 metres, T53. There is something decidedly 80s about getting the lingering shot of the starter. Gritsenko in 4, Fairbank in 5, Asai in 6, Balbaert in 7, and Yu in lane 8. Balbaert may be a championship debutant, but as a 12-year-old he did the Ultraman Challenge, swam for 10k, cycled for 420 and ran 84k. That's not bad for starters. He's back a little bit here, but don't worry about that, he's 18. Fairbank is 3 times his age, and he's looking really smashing in lane 5 right now, not the outside. Yu Byung-hoon as well. So as the top 3 will go through, Fairbank and Yu don't necessarily need to go full tilt, and Gritsenko has moved up well. Yu also, there's Gritsenko and Yu, and Asai, the 1, 2, 3. Fairbank is 4th. Maybe okay time-wise, we're only losing to Balbaert coming through in 5th spot. 49.24 the winning time. He didn't compete in either of last 2 years' 2 major championships at Gritsenko, but he looked good there, season's best to win. 49.24.
He's got a fantastic shot there, just getting an idea of how these athletes power those wheelchairs so fast. And as you can see, the wheels are smooth, apart from a rim that sticks out, and all the athletes have gloves on their hands. And look at the action there. They're not grasping the rim on their wheel, they're punching it, and it's actually more like a boxer. Those are the kind of muscles that you need to be good. And high elbows, as you can see, and fast turnover. That's what you want at the finish. And we got an excellent shot just there. A lot of people ask, so how do the wheelchair racers steer around the corner if they're too busy punching their wheels? Well, they have something called a compensator, and you have to make sure you hit it going into and out of that corner.
It's interesting to see Yu ease up so early with around 20 minutes to go, but he knew he was going through. Taking a little glance behind him to make sure where the 4th and 5th places were, so he didn't mind where he was as long as he was in the top 3. And he was. As always, if you're in the area, you're more than welcome to come along, by the way. Tickets available for the next 7 days. They've got theirs. Mind you, I think they would have to have theirs. Best tickets of all. Just a word, by the way, about that women's discus F44. No improvements in the final round, so Osiris Machado at the age of 21. She's the world champion for Mexico. 44.36, a new championship record. Samantha Hyacin, the silver for the United States, 40.65. And Yao Xuan only had one successful mark, 39.23, 5 no throws, and the perennial champion gets the bronze. It was silver last year, behind a teammate in Paris. That was Yang Gui who took the gold then, but Yao Xuan doesn't take this one. And a very, very big name is appearing in the second heat, who, if I'm not mistaken from memory, has been reclassified. Anyway.
Yeah, Maxime Caraban is the man that you're talking about, from Belgium. Formerly a T52, now being reclassified to a T53. We'll see him go in a moment in this men's 400 metres T53 second heat. They wouldn't mind the heat here. The Saudi contingent, used to it.
Well, he's in long sleeve. He's clear this is too cold for him.
Yes, you're on the TV monitor. Look this way towards us. Plenty of pictures being taken, capturing the moments. I'm sure there must have been a slogan or something, capturing the moments. Had to have been.
Write it down. Vitaly Grutenko winning it 49.24. He's through along with Yu Byung-hoon, freewheeling over the line, and Masur Bere Arsai in third. They all progress. Pierre Fairbank, not a bad time. He'll have to wait in fourth. And Johannes Balbart has a lifetime best in fifth, and a long career along the way.
Attention back to the women's T12 long jump. We are still early into the first round. Now there are 7 athletes competing, and what you'll notice as you go along is that it might take a little bit longer to get through these rounds, but that's because for the women's T12 event, it is a manual measurement. For the non-visually impaired classes, it's done electronically, but for the T12, which is a vision impairment class, they have to do a manual measurement, and you are about to find out why. This is Mulla Rodgott, 43, from Germany. And that explosion of power as she took off is exactly why this measurement takes a little bit longer. For the athletes that are visually impaired, instead of a standard long jump board, they are given a 1 meter section of the track to take off from, and that part of the track is covered in powder, as you can see there, and the measurement starts from where their foot landed on that board. And in general, the T12 athletes do have some residual sight. For example, they'd probably be able to recognize a hand from about 2 meters away, whereas we would be able to see the same thing if you have normal vision from 60 meters away.
Second heat, the men's 400 metres T53. Pongsakorn Phayao, the Paralympic champion, 3 times the Paralympic champion in this event. We're going lane 4, Maxime Caraban, who's been reclassified from T52 up to T53. Mohamed Khalifi, who was the bronze medalist last year in Kobe at the World Paralympics Championships in Tunisia, goes in lane number 8. Bob Hunt, who made his debut back in 2013 in Lyon for the United States, goes in lane number 7. Abdulrahman Al-Qurashi of Saudi Arabia, we saw some of the support staff looking on a moment or 2 ago. The gold medalist last year at the Paralympic Games in the 100 metres in the T53 category. Maxime Caraban, 5 times a World Championship gold medalist in the T52. He's also 100 and 200 metres Paralympic champion from T52 last year. He's been reclassified to T53 for these championships. And a man with plenty of experience. He was the gold medalist in 2019 in Dubai and Paris 2023. He's a 3-time Paralympic champion, including Paris last year. Pongsakorn Payo of Thailand goes in lane number 4. So first 3 automatically go through, and the next 2 fastest qualifiers to the final. Men's 400 metres T53, heat number 2. Pongsakorn Payo, the Paralympic champion. He's also the world record and championship record holder set in Paris at the Paralympics World Championships in 2023. They get away very quickly indeed. Payo has made up a load of space down that back straight. You can see him in the foreground there in the red with number 4 in his helmet. He's absolutely motoring. Khalifi around the outside, and the Saudi athlete Al Qurashi, who won 100 metres gold last year, back in 3rd place at the moment. Just the first 3 that go through. Pongsakorn Payo is doing it very easily indeed. He'll just cruise in towards the end, will Payo. Let's just have a look at the time as he goes across. 47.93 for Pongsakorn Payo. Al Qurashi coming through second position, but Pongsakorn Payo with that 47.80 made sure with about 150 metres to go that he was definitely going to be the one goes through. Khalifi in second place, 49.81, a new African record for him, and Al Qurashi ends up with 3rd position, season best 50.58. So Maxime Caraban, after winning everything in front of him in the T52 category, he's been reclassified to T53, and he's going to miss out on the final, having gone up against a very good athlete in Pongsakorn Payo. 51.42 lifetime best for Bob Hunt. He will qualify through to the final with that time. So he and Fairbank go through as the lucky losers, if you like to call it that. Payo, Khalifi and Al Qurashi easing through. Payo, though, very strong down that back straight. The tyres are so strong in the wheelchair events.
We saw a few ambulant 400 meters earlier this morning, and the difference between a wheelchair race when it comes to 400 meters is the way that you structure it. Essentially, it is a competition to see who can get up to speed first. You do not hold back on that first 100 meters, and by the time you hit definitely 150, 200, you want to be flying through at top speed, and Payo Pongsakorn is probably reaching around about, I'd say 34 kilometers an hour coming around that 200 meters, and then it is all about maintaining it. And so it's a very, very different speed profile that you'll see across them, and part of the reason why Payo is so good is because he has that 100 meter sprint speed, and he's starting to get better with that endurance as well. And by endurance I mean the 800. He is a 400 meter world record holder, not the takeover.
Well, the fans are enjoying it. Pongsakorn Payo will enjoy it as well. Last 200 metres or so, he was absolutely motoring, and he had a lead of around 40 metres there at one point.
We turn our attention back to the women's T12 long jump. We are just at the start of round 2, and just to catch you up, Kolbakova of Uzbekistan currently sits in the lead. Now, in Paris, she had a bit of a tough time registering just 3 meters 45, but she's jumped to the lead with a season's best of 5 meters 54. We've just seen Linda Hamry of Algeria take her second attempt, her first attempt being 5 meters 10. Hamry has always been good at sport growing up. She played a variety of things, and it was actually when a neighbor moved into the same apartment complex that she did that they spotted her talent in athletics and thought perhaps this might be a great avenue for her. Hamry tried it, she loved it, moved around to a few different clubs, and then a few years later noticed that her eyesight was deteriorating. She started her career as a T13, and now we're T12, and it's not unusual to see changes in the visual impairment classes in terms of classification. Linda Hamry has improved, 5:16 season's best in her second attempt. And now it is the 16-year-old Delisa Filipov. On her championship debut, she came out and delivered a personal best in the first round, 3 meters and 97. And it is a big deal as a 16-year-old to be able to come out here and to just handle the huge disruption to your normal routine. I mean, it's the travel, it's everything in the build-up to the games, it's handling the pressure. And so far, in the first few days, we have seen several long jumpers, several more experienced long jumpers struggle with the runway, struggle to get a mark in, and she has come out and she has delivered her best with her very first go. Has had a fantastic start to her campaign. 5 meters 25 in the first round. She's currently sitting in second position. The T12 athletes, they do generally have some sight, but there are restrictions in terms of their visual field. It's normally limited, if you think about it, on a circle to 5 degrees, some having vision peripherally, some having vision centrally, and there's the obvious challenge of trying to sight for a takeoff board, but we also sometimes forget just how much we use our vision when it comes to balance and coordination. Eyesight works with our body's proprioception system to give a sense of where your body is in space, and also with your vestibular system, so that's to do with your inner ear balance, and all three of those work together to help tell your body where it is in space and how to make adjustments and how to perform all of those complex movements. 5 meters 28, she has improved on the first round. So you have all these three systems working together, so what do you do when you perhaps don't have use of one of them? What that means for the athletes and their coaches is they just have to get that much better. Katrin Müller-Rutgart, a familiar name, a familiar face to anybody who has been watching parasport for the past 2 decades. She was a world champion back in 2003, doing the 2-4 double. And then on the other end of the spectrum, bronze in Paris 2024 Paralympics 100 meters. And that speed certainly is going to be handy on a long jump runway. That jump given the white flag. Even with the extended takeoff board, it is still possible to get a foul in the long jump. So for example, if your foot extends beyond that board, well, they can't really work out where the start of it is. So that would be a foul. However, if you're behind the board, they would just measure from the back end of it. There's been no improvement for Müller-Rutgart. She will stay in 4th position.
Now one final on the track in the morning session. Men's 400 meters T36 final. Paralympic champion James Turner goes up against the world champion William Stedman. Takuro Matsumoto, who was 7th in his home Paralympics. Paralympics back in Tokyo 4 years ago. William Steadman, who was silver in this event last year at the Paralympic Games behind James Turner, but he did win gold in Kobe at the Worlds. Baka Thaladia, who was 6th Paralympics last year from Algeria, goes in lane number 7. Kirill Glazerin, the 21-year-old who's a lifetime best in his heat, neutral Paralympic athlete, will go in lane 6. James Turner, 2-time Paralympic champion, including Paris last year. He's a 7-time world champion, 3 of those in the 400 metres. He'll go in lane 5, the Australian. Argentina's Alexis Chavez, bronze medalist last year in Paris. He'll look to try and go at least one better this time around at the Worlds. He won the gold in 19 and 23 the Pan American Games, did the Argentinian. 23-year-old qualifier who got through as one of those lucky losers in the heats, David Khachaturian of Armenia, going lane number 3. And from Ukraine in lane number 2, Mikhail Pernin, 22 years of age and his first major championships. Lifetime best set this year at 57.48. T36 coordination impairment category. This is the second most impaired in this category. This becomes quite difficult for many in the last 100, 150 metres, so we'll keep an eye out for what may happen there. They're ready to go. Men's 400 metres, T36 final. Away they go. Smart enough start by James Turner in lane number 5, the reigning Paralympic champion. He's already got up on the shoulder of Glazerin, the 21-year-old neutral Paralympic athlete, and is just heading past him at the moment. William Steadman, who's out in lane 8. Looks to be somewhat struggling a bit. He's almost gone backwards there and has been taken over by the Algeria on the inside. So as they straighten up, it's Turner who looks to have taken the lead as they move into the last 100 metres. On the outside of him, it's Glazerin in lane number 6, who's in second position. Turner, though, is really stretching out. Steadman's in third position now. Can he make it on the ground? I don't think he can. Turner's starting to tighten up a bit. Turner might just about get there. He does just about get there and take it from Glazerin, with Steadman in third place. Well, James Turner, he tightened up towards the end. I said in that last 100, the athletes in this category can tighten up, but it's an 8th World Championship title, a season best time of 52.18 for James Turner. Glazerin with a European record in 52.25 and a season best time of 53.05 for William Steadman. But James Turner, he did enough at the end to just about hold on. The Paralympic champion, he's regained his world title that he lost to Steadman last year in Kobe. And the former Peru 7-a-side footballer who turned his attempts into athletics and became a revelation, just shaking hands with his long-time rival William Steadman. James Turner, though, the season best, 52.18 for him. He claims an 8th world title. He's got the world record and the championship record. He had the Paralympic title. He'd lost that world title and he gained that one back this time. So he has them all. Over 100, 200 and 400. His 8th world championship title. This is 4th over the 400 metres distance.
Wow. Wow, what a race, and what a reminder that If you are not willing to suffer, this is not the event for you. You could just see as all of the athletes came down that runway. They were struggling, they were in pain, and that's not because they're not incredibly fit and trained really hard. It's simply because the 400 meters is a physically awkward race for any human being to run. It's a race with a distance where you have a switch between anaerobic glycolysis to your aerobic system, and it is just painful. And I have to say, this men's T36 400 meter race, it was one of the epic ones in Paris. Turner dragging everybody in the field to a personal best there.
Turner with the goal, 52.18 season best for him. European record for Glasgow and the neutral Paralympic athlete, 21 years of age, picks up his silver medal. Lifetime best in his heat, he's done even better there. Stedman has been dethroned, the former world champion now, season best for him, bronze.
You could just see there Turner in the middle, absolutely blasting out. And I was getting a little bit worried for William Stedman, and he managed to come through for the bronze. And you just see here his maturity showing. He was down, he didn't panic, he didn't try to claw back the distance, but my goodness, Turner willing that finish line to come. Glazerin just trying to hunt him down. And some people say, oh, well, I bet he wishes it was a 402 meter race or a 399 meter race. But the reality is it's 400 meters. This comes down to the person who knows how to pace it, knows their body, knows what their limits are, and knows all that matters is who gets there at the 400 meter line. But the end of that race, it was carnage, bodies littered everywhere.
I'd say another 10 meters, and Glazerin may well have caught him, because he really tightened up towards the end, James Turner, and it does happen, as you said, in these particular races. But he took the win, and he was happy about it as well.
So alongside all of the track action, this women's T12 long jump is moving along. We are now into the third round. Linda Hammery has just taken her third attempt, coming up at 5:03, so not an improvement. Currently on the runway from Finland, we have Ida Lunella, currently sitting in second position. Now you can see that the athlete has her assistant there with her. Athletes in this category allowed to have somebody with them on the field of play. They can help with things like setting up the runway. A few of the athletes in this category will also choose to have their guide stand down at the end and either yell or clap, giving them an audio cue in terms of which direction to run in. Obviously, one of the challenges with a visual impairment being how to sight for the board. But there's other ways to get around that. These athletes have a long jump rhythm. They know roughly how many steps it will take them before they need to take off. Speed, so important in this event, but not just speed, the ability to convert it as you take off. All long jumpers have to be fantastic sprinters, but not all sprinters make good long jumpers. And again, it's because you have this split second to really put your foot down and drive off that board and convert all of that speed into distance. One of the unique qualities of all jumpers, and particularly long jumpers, is that they have found a way to encourage that takeoff leg to act like a spring. Just look at this here. In about a split second, that leg, it loads, you're loading the tendons and muscles, and it's springing back, launching you into the pit. 5 meters 12 on her third attempt. Best jump is still 5 meters 28, and she will remain in second position. Now we've seen Mula Rutgart have huge success on the track. For years we've watched her run with her guide, Noelle Philippe Feiner. But this is a different experience. In the long jump, athletes don't run with their guides. I do wonder if at some point somebody tested it and thought, no, this is just not going to work out. I mean, you can just see the technical brilliance in that run. It's absolutely beautiful. But as I said, a very different experience running on your own when you spent your career running with a guide. She's had huge success in the sprints, but never a global medal in the long jump. She's had a few at the European level, but this would be new territory for Müller-Rutgaard if she could get onto this podium. Now, with a personal best of 5 meters 49, she's certainly in the mix, but at the moment she finds herself in 4th position with a best mark of 5 meters 09. That third jump at 5:08, very close to her best, but bringing no improvement.
We've got action coming up in the men's 100 metres T13. This is the category of least visual impairment, between 5 and 20%. Well, we had a new name, but no New York. He doesn't start the Cuban. He is DNS, but we do have 5 going in the first of these 2 semi-finals, effectively, as they are. And the top 2 for the Paralympic Games we don't see, but this is the man who finished 3rd, so that might help a favourite status, the man who won bronze in last year's Paralympic Games in Tokyo and silver in the Worlds in Kobe, Shuta Kawakami. Alongside him now in 5, the European silver medalist behind Zach Skinner of Britain in Bydgoszcz 4 years ago in the last Euros, Axel Zorzi. In lane 6 from Koppus in Germany, 4th in the 400 metres in last year's World Championship in Kobe, Max Marzilia. In lane 7 from the University of North South Wales in Australia, championship debut for James Girardo. And Giselle was a touch football international. And in lane 8 for Norway, bronze in the long jump at last year's World Championships in Kobe. 7th in the 1 and the 4, 2 years ago. That's Vegard Dragsund's. So it's the top 3 from the 2 semi-finals we're going to see, plus the next 2 fastest to make it, which I think is what that code meant. So no start for Suarez, unfortunately. So it's Kawakami in 3, Zorzi in 5, Marzilia in 6, Tirado in 7, and Sverre in 8. First semi-final of men's 100 metres, T13. And they're away at the first time of asking. Very solid start by Sverre, and now Marzilia is on his way and strongly. And Kawakami going strong. Kawakami second behind Sverre, who shot back up on the inside very nicely in lane 8, and he wins it in 10.87. That's a lifetime best by a long way, provided the wind doesn't play a factor. There you go, lifetime best by 0.08 of a second, season's best by 13, and the man from Bergen is climbing mountains. He's into the final. He doesn't make many in terms of globally. 7th in the 1 and the 4, 2 years ago in Paris at the Worlds. He's through, Kawakami is through, and Zorzi as well.
I mean, that was just a textbook race in terms of how to go through all of your phases. You think about the 100 meters generally in 4 phases. You have the start, which, while is important, I still would argue is not the most important part of the 400 meters, because you can have a fantastic start, but if you don't have a great acceleration and you don't have a good maintenance of your top end speed, then you aren't going to be winning any 100 meters. But I think that, for me, was the difference for Sverre. He started, he kept going, and it was just smooth all the way.
It was impressive. He had a really good start, Sverre, and an even more impressive finish, frankly. He has not won a major championship medal yet in his career. Well, he is into the final of the men's 100 metres T13 tomorrow. That was really tremendous from his point of view. So Svein takes it, 10.87 lifetime best. Kawakami second, 11.01, and Zorzi third, 11.08. They're all through, and Max Mazzillier on 11.22. Have to wait. Season's best for him. And James Tirado, his standards a little bit off where he would want to be. Actuarial and Commerce Studies student at the University of NSW. Marcelin College at Randwick. It's championship debut as we go into heat 2. Now here's a big one. Isaac John Paul doesn't start this one. 5th in the Paralympics final, regular medalist in terms of the long jump. He has won high jump world title as well, and he does not start this second semi-final. There are a few championship medalists in this anyway. Maybe a knock, maybe concentrating on the field. It's an interesting one. See the athletes at the moment, but Maxim Karaban, who we saw earlier, and he didn't progress in the T53. He was a T52. The 53s basically physically a stronger category. It's a faster category, and he's been reclassified. There was an investigation on Belgian TV a few months ago, wondering about his classification because he was able to wiggle his toes a bit more than he ought to have done being a T52. A few other athletes, a few other federations said, might he be in the wrong category? So he was here for classification a few days ago. He's been reclassified to a T53. He had great success in the 52s. He's from Liège. He's such a star in that city. He even gave the kick-off at Stade de Liège after the Paralympics, after he won his gold medals. He's a 53 now and doesn't progress this time, but there are other shots at him. He's still in the game anyway. So I'm afraid Isaac John Paul is not. A couple of championship debut odds who will be seeing subsequently as well, but this man is not one of them. Fabrizio Barros, as he's already taken world championship silver and bronze. Silver in Paris 2 years ago in this 100 metres, and bronze in 2019 in Dubai. Then compete in Paris for the Paralympic Games season 2 for Brazil. Lane 3, here's a neutral athlete, 4th in the 100 metres in the Euros in Bydgoszcz in 2021. That's his only prior championship for Igor Kaczynski. In 4 for Lau. 7th in the long jump at the Worlds last year, Bunpet Teptida. Or Laos, depending where you are in the country. 5th he was in the Asian Games 2018. Championship debut for this 20-year-old. Juan Sirera, he's in 5. It's the White Tiger in 6, the Paralympic Games bronze medalist in Rio, and a 4 times world championship medalist, Chad Perris. He's in 6 for Australia. And in 8 for Kenya, championship debutante, it is Jairus Okora. Lifetime best this year, 11.47. Fastest lifetime best in the field is Chad Perris, who finished 4th in the 2 global finals last year in Kobe and in Paris. He's had a very good winter season in Australia. 10.83 season's best, so he's the fastest one of those as well. Going in 6, he's got nobody to his right. It's Barros in 2, Kaczynski 3, Tatina 4, Sierra 5, Perez 6, Okora in 8. Top 4 to go through, next 2 fastest. Away the first time of asking. Perez away very, very well, and Teptida as well of Lau, who's going brilliantly, and Barros is up, and here comes Chad Perez to win it. 10.86, thank you very much. Perez is through, and Barros and Kaczynski, and the rest will have to wait, but Chad Perez is waiting for nobody. He makes his way into the final. Things have opened up. The top 2 from the Paralympics in Paris aren't here, but Perez, he's here. He's into the final.
I mean, this is a very fast category, and you can just see the quality. And it's the men's T13 class that unofficially wins the title for having the fastest Paralympian. And I say unofficially because Jason Smith ran 10:22. He was a T11 athlete from Ireland, and it was done at an able-bodied race, so it doesn't actually count towards one of the para-athletics records. The official fastest Paralympian is Patricio Ferreira, 10:29 from the T47 category, but it just underlines the quality that you have on show. You see the athletes now just powering down, building up that speed, and again, the mark is, does the athlete look tense or stressed as they cross the line? Sprinting is this really strange, complex problem of having to give maximal force and yet be incredibly relaxed. It seems like an oxymoron, but that's what it takes.
He's had a good season, Chad Perris. I mean, 10:65 is his lifetime best, which wasn't far behind Jason Smith in terms of para-athletics terms. He was usually on the podium alongside Smith one way or another. Job done for Chad Perris. He's into tomorrow's final. So Paris wins for Australia, 10:86. Patricio Barros of Brazil, 11:02. Juan Serrera, third for Spain, 11:27. And Kaczynski qualifies as well, 11:38. As the next fastest, we always used to call him the fastest loser. He's in the hot seat, he's out of the hot seat, he makes it. Paris, always well supported by the family. And Paris the fastest actually, by 100th of a second, clear of Vegard, Dragsson, Sved. Shuta Kawakami, third fastest, and Barros and Zorzi. Yeah, opportunities there. But the man with the pistols, Pistol Paris, is the fastest. Commentary box with us for most of London 2017. He enjoyed it so much he's not put it since. Norden, men's shot put at 40. So this is a new final. This is the athletes of shorter stature, shorter than the F41s. They were together for very many years, but it felt the athletes who are now the 41s had more of an advantage. So they were split up about a dozen years ago. This has been underway for around 20 minutes or so. So we're into the second round, and Denis Gnevzdilov, neutral athlete, he's already thrown a championship record of 11:59. He leads. Miguel Montero putting the second 11:31, and Gara Tunayesh, this is him, of Iraq, in third position, 10:83. Regular medalist. It's beyond 10 metres, might be an improvement. He's in the medals by 28 centimetres ahead of Janis Fischer of Germany right now. 11 in this final. Top 8. Carry on all the way. No worries for Tunayesh right now. 11:28 is his lifetime best. He's close to it, has a season's best already. So I thought Wang Wei there was trying to bounce the shot. 10:48 for Tunayesh, so he doesn't progress, he stays in the bronze medal position in these early exchanges, and Wang Wei is going to be the last to go in this second round. He's on 9:10. He's a 10:10 man in his career, that would be fifth exactly. Across the 10-metre line. By the women, Bars, famously in Paris last year. F40s, Steph don't have very many categories.
First up, the world record holder from Poland, Faustina Pawlowska.
64, kicking things off is Faustina Pawlowska, 24 and already a triple world champion medalist. Alicia Guerrero, 22, a rising star for USA, competing in the shot and the discus. 18-year-old Addison Franceschini, also doing the shot and the discus, making making her championship debut.
Pan-American Games champion.
Now, she may be just 26, but Jessica Himes is already a 3-time Paralympian.
With a lifetime best of 27 meters 38 from India.
The home nation. Dayawanti of India, 35, also making her debut.
States of America.
And rounding things off, Chloe Chavez,
Your athletes
just 19. As you can see, half the field is American. We know how good they are in the throwing events. Lots of field event action taking place at the moment. It's all happening, and right now we're going to get caught back up with the women's long jump T12 final. Now, there's been no major change since we last left. Katrin Müller-Rotgart, the athlete who has been so successful in the sprints, yet to get a global medal in the long jump, still remains in 4th position.
First round of the men's 100 metres T44. The Paralympic and world champion, Emma Malongo, is not competing in this event. Dusan Kanicevic of Serbia, 18 years of age, and his first major championship, his lifetime best of 12.10 seconds. Another youngster as well, 20 years of age, Andrei Kondratyuk of Ukraine. Will go in lane number 3. Eddie Bernard, bronze medalist with a new Asian record in the Paralympic Games last year. He took silver in Kobe last year in the World Championships from Malaysia in lane 4. Marco Cicchetti of Italy made the final of the 100 metres T44 in Paris last year. 11:46, set that this season his lifetime best. Will go in lane number 5. Naif Al-Sarahi of Saudi Arabia will go in lane number 6. And Dmitry Batasevich, neutral Paralympic athlete, goes in lane number 7. Karim Ramadan, who was a silver medalist in Paris back in 2023, 7th in the final last year in Paris, of Egypt, will go in lane 8. The first 3 automatically through to the final. The next 2 fastest qualifiers across both heats also progressing to the final. So a wide open field. No Malongo at these championships provides a perfect opportunity for some to get themselves into a medal winning position. Kanicevic into Kondratyuk in 3, Bernard in 4, Cicchetti in 5, Amasrahi in 6, Batasevich in 7, Ramadan in 8. And they jump with no problems at all, and looking very good out there is Al-Sabrahi, the Saudi athlete. He's looking really good. Let's look at the time. He goes across 11:01. Cicchetti has also got across there, the Italian, in 2nd position, and after that we'll have to wait and see who finished in that automatic 3rd place qualification position. But 11:04 the time for that man there from Saudi Arabia. We're seeing some very good support for the Saudis here, good support staff as well. Cicchetti, a new European record in 2nd position. Lifetime best for Batasevich, 11:63. So there are your 3 who automatically go through. That was a fast enough race indeed. Kanicevic will have to wait. He'll be in a hot seat. The lifetime best for him. But the Saudi athlete, very strong.
That was some very smooth running from Al-Mashrahi. And in the men's T44 category, it is a single lower leg impairment below the knee. And so perhaps you might be expecting that you might see a little bit of difference in terms of the stride side to side, but that was absolutely smooth and so important in the 100-meter sprints, because you want to be able to have that kind of symmetry and that kind of flow as you run to keep that top speed going. Beautiful showing of technique there.
Well, Kanisevic and Ramadan sit in the hot seats for the moment. It's Al-Sarahi, Jiketi and Bartashevich, who are definitely through to the final. New area records for both Al-Sarahi and Jiketi, and Bartashevich with a lifetime best for him in third position. Kanisevic and Ramadan 11.75 and 11.81 are the times to look out for as far as lucky losers go.
Coming up next, we will have round 2 of the men's 100 T44. At the moment, the athletes are out on the track, just setting up their blocks. An official standing around about the 30-meter line, making sure they don't go too far. But just to their left, we have the women's T12 long jump final taking place, and we are deep into the round. We are about to start round number 5. At the moment, from Uzbekistan, we have Kolbakova leading the way. And unfortunately, we've not been able to see any of her jumps so far, but she has been in spectacular form, kicking it off in the first round with 5 meters 54. Currently on the runway, we have Dimitra Dialekti-Messina of Greece. After the third round, the athletes were reordered according to their placings. Get a fantastic view there of the, well, I'll call it the takeoff zone. So instead of a board, athletes are taking off from a zone that is covered with powder, and the powder is really important because it allows the officials to make a measurement from where their foot took off. And just watch here, you couldn't quite see it on that view, but often you're going to get this explosion of white powder. It does mean that it requires a manual measurement from the officials, which is why this long jump is taking a little bit longer than usual, a little more time required between the attempts of the athletes. 4 meters 59. Now it is an improvement, however, it will not move her up in terms of positions. Messina will have one more attempt. As Messina was taking her final jump, the men's T44 Heat 2 were setting up in their blocks. Now you're going to want to keep an eye out for Siapo Felicien of France. Finished in 4th place, just off the podium in Paris. However, there is an opportunity here with a few of the big mates not on the start. In lane 2, Mateus de Lima, 21. Got a bronze medal at the Paris World Championships, 9th at the Paris Paralympics. Pavlo Kaplan in lane 3, just 20, making his championship debut, and he's doing the 100-200 meter double. Noor Alsana, 41, also doing the 100-200 meter double. However, the world record holder in the 800 meters. We'll see how that extra endurance pans out for him here. Huang Ruha, 21, coming in excellent form with a new personal best of 11 meters 90. Denzel Namine, 31. Not quite sure what kind of form he's in, as he has yet to be in action this season, opening his season at the World Championships. Gamage. Big opportunity here for Gamage. Bronze medalist in Kobe. Michael Shipley of Australia. Now, he is already a world medalist, just not in this sport. Better known as a cyclist, making his world championship debut in athletics. And now in lane 9, rounding out the field, Felician Siapo. A bronze medalist in the javelin at the Europeans in 2021, but now focusing just on the sprint. So close at the Paris Paralympics to getting on that podium. Now, Paris 2023 World Champs was the first time T44s started competing separately from T64 athletes, which are also athletes with a lower leg impairment, with the T64s having blades. Athletes getting settled. You can see there some choosing to use blocks, some not. It can be tricky when you don't have your blocks to maintain that start position. Oh, and not such a great start for Siapo, but my goodness, De Lima out there in lane 1 is charging away from this. You can see Siapo trying to claw back, Kaplan trying to get there, top 3 going in, but wow, that was a great heat for De Lima. He was out right from the start and not letting go of that lead. And this is a really exciting time for the men's T44 category. By splitting out the different categories, what it means is there's now more opportunity for more athletes. De Lima, Kaplan, and Siapo coming through with the automatic qualifying spots. Gamage, 11:86. Fortunately, that will not be enough to pick up one of those automatic cues, both coming from the previous heat. But look at De Lima there, just striding away, shutting things down casually, making sure he's got a little bit left in the tank for that final. Part of the reason it's so significant that the classes have been separated is because countries are far more likely to fund athletes if they have a better shot at a medal, and by splitting out the categories, they're not saying that one is easier or harder than the other one, they're just saying that they're different and not necessarily comparable. So just cleaning up the result from that heat, Mateus de Lima of Brazil taking the win, 11:36 automatic qualifying also for Kaplan and Siapo, and unfortunately no one else from that heat will make it through. However, Michael Shipley with an oceanic record on his debut in athletics.
Yes, so what that means is that Knistovic and Ramadan from the opening heat in this T44 100 metres, they go through lifetime best and season best respectively, go through with the 6 automatic qualifiers. Top of the list there, Al Masrahi of Saudi Arabia.
The usual weather forecast for New Delhi. Those are live pictures, by the way. So is this.
And this is our first look at Kolbakova. All of the action for the field events coming to you live. She is in the lead, got there with her very first attempt, 5 meters 54, and my goodness, she's been incredibly consistent around that mark. Followed up with 5:52 in the third round, 5:48 in the fourth. What has she got in round 5? And that looks like another solid effort from Kolbakova. I'm so pleased for her because she had a bit of a nightmare performance in Paris. She didn't make the cut in terms of a final, and that was because she had registered a mark around 3 meters, which we know is well below what she is capable of, just not able to get her runway return to these World Championships. Clearly managed to sort things out on that front. Actually, I was fascinated watching her warm up. I knew immediately she was going to be an excellent jumper. She was doing this move where she jumped into the air, then did a pipe position and touched her toes. Normally, I really encourage participation, but my goodness, do not try that at home. Now, she won't improve with that attempt. Still another solid 5 meter plus jump. However, her 5.54 from the first round remains the mark to beat. And that signals the start of the 6th and final round. The audience there very sensibly sitting in the shade. It's hot. It is very hot. I took a moment to head down to the track just after the morning session yesterday, and you have the normal heat that everyone's experiencing, you have the sun, but there's something about a track, particularly a Mondo track, where it absorbs the heat and then radiates it back to you, and it definitely feels hotter down there within the bowl of the stadium, even in the shade. Joining us, just a reminder that this is the T12 category for long jump, which means a moderate visual impairment. So often the athletes will have a guide come with them onto the field of play and just set up their runway. And in this case, I'm not sure if you could quite pick up, but her guide was actually standing at the end of the pit, calling out to Filipov, just helping to give her a sense of direction in terms of where to jump. And Filipov, just 16 years old, has already had a fantastic competition. You can see there just how proud her coach is of her. World Championship debut. 16-year-old from Estonia came in and opened up with a personal best and then followed it up with another personal best in round 4. She won't be challenging for the medals just yet. She finishes with 3.71, so no improvement for her 4th round attempt. But these experiences at 16, so important when it comes to development for an athlete. Messina of Greece takes the runway, sitting in 6th place. Again, an incredibly consistent card so far. First came onto the scene, breaking a national record that had stood in Greece for 23 years. That was back in 2023. Since then, she's added half a meter to that record. Now she is a 5-meter jumper at her best, not quite matching that total today. Need a jump bigger than 4.81 to change in position. Not going to be today. She'll finish with 4.59 as her best jump, and she will stay in 6th position. Inga of Italy taking her final jump. She also opened up with a personal best, 4.81. She herself is a 4-time Paralympic medalist, has already won silver in this event in 2012 at the Paralympics, and took the bronze medal in 2016, 2021, and Paris 2024. She started off as a T13, now a T12 athlete. Something you'll often see across the visually impaired events is athletes changing classification just due to changes in their eyesight as they age. Muller Rothgard of Germany successful in the sprints. You'll see it in her runway. It is absolutely spectacular. However, she has never taken a global medal in the long jump. Oh, and she's sitting in 4th place at the moment, and will that be good enough? She's been given the white flag. Excellent sign. Tick mark 1, and now she will wait to see if that jump is good enough to get into the bronze medal position. It's hard to tell. They don't put out the distance markers for the T11 or T12 events because they're measuring from a different spot every time, so they're going to be very misleading. She needs 5:16 or better to take over bronze medal position. Oh, and it's 5:06. Muller-Ruckart will stay in 4th position. Again, so close to getting a medal on the global stage for Muller-Ruckart.
So now with action in the men's 200 metres T35. This is standing coordination impairment, and is the most impaired of those 4 categories. Heat 2 will be coming up shortly, but before that, logically, it should be Heat 1. I'll put it like this, I hope it is. Otherwise I'm in trouble. In lane 4 in this opening heat for Brazil, 4th in the 100 and the 200. Last year at the Paris Paralympic Games, it's Enrique Caetano. Goes in lane 4, 24:13 is lifetime best this year. In lane 5, the reigning world champion in this from Kobe last year, the former European and world champion elsewhere, Artem Kalashian, who won silver in the 1, bronze in the 2 in Paris last year. Some names just leap off a page. In lane 6, for Australia, championship debut, Sydney Pacific, it's Jackson Love, 19 years old. Good to see him aboard. Ukraine, in 7. Reigning European World Paralympic champion, 3 times European, 6-time World, 4-time Paralympic champion, Igor Svetov. And another name to get acquainted with as well. For Australia, Jordan Fairweather of Glen Huntly Athletics Club. And he makes his World Championship debut in 8. Dwayne Gitton is coach. Artem Kalashian, the neutral athlete. Gold in the 1, bronze in the 2 for Kalashian last year in Kobe. So he didn't win this last year, he did take gold in the 1. So Caetano in 4, Kalashian 5, Love 6, Svetov 7 and Fairweather in 8. As they get underway, it's the top 3 and the next 2 fastest who will make their way through to the final tomorrow. And it's a really solid start from Igor Svetov, who's well in control here. The man who has done the double in 3 world championships. He didn't compete last time out in Kobe. He's competing here and he's winning here. Svetov takes it. Caetano really looking strong also. Kalashian moving on up. Igor Svetov, season's best of 23.80. He makes his way into the final. Caetano was coming up well on the rails. He gets his victory. Kalashian wasn't that far behind. It's an America's record for Caetano of 24.14. And Kalashian through as well, 24.39. And Love will have to wait.
It's the first of the 200-meter sprints that we have seen so far, and for each of the categories, World Para-Athletics is trying really hard to make sure that you have a long sprint and a short sprint. And so sometimes that long sprint is the 400, Sometimes it's the 200, and in this case, for the men's T35, it is the 200. But what this does add is a very different dynamic when it comes to sprinting, because you're starting on a curve, and sprinting on a curve is different to sprinting in a straight line, and it is something that you have to work on, particularly when you're lining your blocks up like that. And the thing is, we spend so much of our time moving in a straight line. You have to figure out how to work the bend to then set up the rest of your race.
Good victory for Svetov, took nice control of it, and he is into the final. Caetano and Kalashin progress as well. Good to see Australia fielding a couple of new names in Jackson Love and Jordan Fairweather. So Svetov makes it. Caetano with the equal America's record. Brazil in second, and Kalashin, the neutral athlete, in third. And an Oceania record for Jackson Love in fourth spot, 24.73. It's a strong mark to try and help him through. Jordan Fairweather with a lifetime best as well. Quick word about the men's shot put at 40 final. Will come later.
As you can see, it is all happening on the field this morning. We have several screens out, making sure we can control all of it. But taking her final jump, Lunella from Finland. We are at the business end of this competition. Lunella already knows that she has the silver medal in the bag. She's all smiles even before she's seen that final mark. And it'll take a jump of 5 meters 54 to overhaul Kolbakova. She's had a very consistent series. All of those jumps ranging from 5 meters 12 to 5 meters 28. We're going to be seeing a lot of Lunella this week. She's competing in the 100, the 200, and the long jump. And this is her first ever senior medal at a global championships. Congratulations, Lunella. Well done. Taking that first global medal on a world stage is a big, big deal. It's not always an easy progression to go from being a junior performer, a junior champion, to the senior ranks. It's not always as smooth as Lunella has made that look. And now for the glory jump, Kolbakova asking the audience to get involved. She's already taken the gold medal. What has she got on that final jump? You can see she was going for it. The world record in this category stands at 6 meters 60, and that's a mark that stood for ages. And you can just get a sense there of what that means to Kolbakova. Oh, she had such a difficult time last year. She was already the reigning world champion, but when it came to the Paris Paralympics, it was devastation. She couldn't get her run up right in the final and managed to register a mark of just 3 meters 43. She knew it was well below what she was capable of. And now she's come back, she has sorted that runway out, and she is a double world champion. Two in a row, stealing the title right from her very first jump, starting off with a season's best of 5 meters 54. There's your medalists. Kolbakova with the gold, Lunella with the silver, Hamre with the bronze. Just a note on Hamre, she decided to pass on her 4th and 5th attempt. Took her 6th attempt. And she finished also with a season's best of 5 meters 16. Now, unfortunately, in this event, the guides are not awarded a medal. But still a very, very important part of the success. Making sure the athletes are taken care of, making sure they have everything that they need to perform at their best. A beautiful moment for all three and their guides. Congratulations to Kolbakova of Uzbekistan, who are having an absolutely fantastic world champs so far.
Worth taking them there one day. Time will tell. It is warm. It could get warmer. Men's 200 metres T35. The second heat set to go. Dmitry Safronov, the world record holder and the world champion from Kobe last year. David Zatiev goes in this one as well. There is Safronov, the world record holder. His season best of 24.20. That world record 23 seconds on the dot. A student at his first major championships. Ivan Tetyukhin will go in lane 5 outside the 4-time world champion Safronov. Maximiliano Villa of Argentina, his lifetime best of 24.59, goes in lane number 6. Just 18 years of age, the Argentine. David Zatiev, the reigning world champion, neutral Paralympic athlete, goes in lane 7. In lane 8, Bao Chiu, 7th in Dubai back in 2019 from Hong Kong in lane number 8. And there's been a strong Australian contingent on this morning session on day 3. Jack Netting, 24 years of age, below in lane number 9. So the first 3 automatically qualify. The hot seat at the moment, 2 more Australians sitting there waiting patiently. Jackson Love and Jordan Fairweather. Safronov in 4, Tetyukhin in 5, Villa in 6, Zatiev in 7, Bao in 8, Netting in 9. Second heat is underway in the men's 200 metres T35 coordination impairment category. They're rounding that first 100 metres. Safronov, as they straighten up, is going to have the lead as they head down that straight. It's the first 3 that go through. Zatiev as well in there. Zatiev is going to take it. In lane 7, the reigning world champion. Wait for the time, but 23.58, a season best time there for Zatiev, so outside the championship and world record by some distance, although it doesn't look like it. 23.86 for Safronov in second position, the world record holder, season best for him as well. There was a blanket over the rest of them. 24.30 has been given to the youngster from Argentina, Maximiliano Villa, lifetime best for him of 24.30. He's taken almost 2/10 of a second there, about 3/10 of a second off his lifetime best, so he goes through as a qualifier into the final with the 2 neutral Paralympic athletes of Zatiev and Safronov. 24.31 in 4th place Tetyukhin, so that'll be enough to see him through as a qualifier, and that'll mean in effect that from the opening heat it'll be the youngster from Australia, Jackson Love, with that Oceanic record, who'll go through as well.
Well, I don't think we can read too much into Safronov and not taking that. He was clearly slowing down, but my goodness, watching him, he is literally head and shoulders above everyone else. He is so tall, and that long stride length coming in very handy when it comes to the longer sprints.
So season bests and lifetime bests for the top 4 in that second heat, men's 200 metres T35. There you go, season best for the 2 at the top, Zatiev and Safronov. So next will be the two qualifiers going through the Oceania record. Jackson Love down there in 8th place. Tajukin as well as one of the lucky losers in that quantity. That's some season best, lifetime best, and area records for those who go through to the men's 200 metres T35 final after.
Well, the women's F64 discus throw has been bubbling along around all of this track action. We are now deep into the competition. We are in the 6th and final round, and the world champion is about to be decided. Diawante went into this final round sitting in 4th position. She had a best throw in her 4th attempt, 27.85. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to pull her up into the medals, but she has delivered an Asian record. Now the medals have already been decided. Guerra knows that she is going home with the bronze medal. I don't think that is going to be an improvement on her 29.45. That's registered a foul. However, that bronze medal will be hers. The Americans came in with a huge contingent, making up half of this field. Guerrera, just 22, already a rising star in this American team. She's also a dual sport athlete based at the University of Illinois, their wheelchair basketball team. But Himes currently sitting in 2nd place. Oh, she'll need a mark beyond the 38.96 laid down from Kotlowska of Poland. Oh, Jessica Himes, just 26 and already a 3-time Paralympian, and just look at that fancy footwork on display there. So much of the throwing is done with your body. We think of throwers as just having really strong arms and upper bodies, but actually the action, the speed is created from your legs. 35.75 on her final throw. Jessica Himes of America delivers a season's best, but it was not enough to overhaul this woman. Kotlowska of Poland already has the gold medal hanging around her neck, which is no surprise because she is the world record holder. And so young, just 24. She came into this championship already a triple world championship medalist across the shot and the discus. But now, finally, she has taken that crown. She is the new world champion. Kotlowska takes the gold, and it's an American to 2 and 3 with Himes and Guerrero. And this is a really exciting time for the F64 and F44 athletes. For the first time, the categories have been separated. And if you're a little bit confused, you'll know that earlier this morning we did see the women's T44 discus event, and you may have been watching that and thinking, oh, I wonder why half the field from Paris isn't here. It is because they now have separate categories for the first time at this World Championships in the throws and also now in the sprints. It's going to be game-changing for this category. But what a moment for Kotlowska. She missed out on a medal in Paris, coming in 4th. But this time, absolutely no doubt about who the winner is. World champion for the first time.
championship debut in 6x4, 18 years old for Daniel Antonio. He's a man who's always a good campaigner. Lane 5 for Spain, European world bronze medalist, Paralympic silver medalist in Tokyo, Delaware Rodriguez. In lane 4 for Mauritius, bronze in the 400 in the Worlds and in the Paralympic Games for Giovanni Philippe, the first ever Paralympic Games medalist for his country. Great day for Mauritius that was. And in lane 3 and 4, France, the 2020, this one, Paralympic champion in the 400 metres, Charles-Antoine Kouakou, silver in the most recent Europeans in 2021. For France at 3. So 7 in this, the top 3 to qualify for the final, plus the next 2, and that is on tomorrow. Intellectual category it is. They have a limited number of races. Starting very well for Panama. In terms of lifetime best, the fastest is Giovanni Philippe of Mauritius. Startling stuff. Oliveira on top of that, the world champion. It's the fastest season's best of 48. Wisdom still coming out strong. Oliveira a little bit behind, but a chance to get coasting here. He actually is a good bit behind Samuel Oliveira. In the yellow for Brazil, they're straightening up, and it's Wisdom now falling behind. Kouakou taking control, and Rodriguez as well. I'm not sure what's happened to Philippe, but it's Kouakou's going to take it. Rodriguez now wins ahead of Kouakou, and Noor Azmi up. That's the 1, 2, 3, and they all progress. And somewhere along the line, we must have lost Giovanni Philippe. Rodriguez takes it, 48.39, and a very good win for him, for the man who was flag bearer last year. Kouakou in second spot, 48.58. I think Philippe's being looked after around the 200 mark over on the far side. Something definitely happened with him, because suddenly he wasn't there. And Noor Azmi in 3 for Malaysia, 48.72. This is the category where, as I say, tactical nous, it's not part of the equation. That is part of the T20s. There are tactical tests that are done to make sure of that, and so we see athletes who go out very quick at times and burn out. And Rodriguez overtaking Kouakou on the line to get the victory here, and they're both through.
You could just see there Kouakou, very experienced, very calm, very casual, makes a very clever decision to think, look, I don't need to win this. Top 3 are going through. I'm just going to make sure that I conserve myself and move ahead. But yes, there tends to be a little bit of confusion perhaps around the intellectual impairment class. So what it means is that it affects social, conceptual, and practical skills. And the other thing is that it has to be identified before the age of 18, and it's one of the most exciting classes, and it's one of the most competitive classes. Huge amounts of numbers of athletes listed on the world rankings.
So it was a bit of an oddity there, because I mean, we saw Philippe at the start, and then suddenly when they go towards the far side, I think is he being carted off over there?
Yeah, he is. They pull out the stretcher on around the 200 metre mark, and then he's been stretched off on the far side.
It's just where the cages are for the throwing, so it's a little bit obscured, but he evidently went down or went off at that stage where the rest of the race is continuing. And Rodriguez takes the victory, and Oliveira as well. He's a man who's very strong. He doesn't progress. Gali now in 6th place. Final round then of the men's shot put. This is the man who is a regular top 6 finisher, and it is the same again here. But he's not going to progress any further. We'll give you the scores on the doors in this. Eventually, Denis Gnezdinov leads the world record 11.85. Montero in 2nd place, 11.31 for Portugal. Tanash 3rd, 10.86. There's been very little progress since we last dipped into this around 20 odd minutes ago. Lots of no throws in the 5th round. And in 5th, Dmitry Dushkin finished 5th in this in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo 4 years ago. 10.13 is best. That was in round 5. Now that's short of 10 meters. I was going to give you a few ifs and buts, but as usual, they're meaningless. And Dushkin will finish 5th. He's a neutral athlete. And this is the last competition for the time being. We're having neutral athletes from his part of the world. .981 is his final mark. And Dmitry Dushkin does not progress any further. So he won't be singing any anthems. 4 to go. Janus Fischer, the 2023 world champion from Germany. I should say Dushkin, by the way. It's been a full decade since he was last on a global podium. It was silver in Doha at the Worlds. Since then, Fischer has been on the podium. That might help a bit. He needs to find an extra 24 centimeters, and he overtakes Tanash, but he also finds the red flag. So, fishing for medals, he doesn't get it. And it's 4th for Germany here for the former world champion, and we're down to the last 3. He put a lot into it, slightly too much at the end in this F40 final. The athletes of shorter stature, and we've 3 to go. For Iraq. Tanash, bronze in Paris last year, silver previously in Tokyo 4 years ago in the Paralympic Games. Bronze in Kobe last year in the Worlds, and silver in Paris before that. He's waiting.
He'll be waiting a few minutes longer because he's been told to take a rest, because the second heat, men's 400 metres T20, is about to get underway. The Paralympic champion, Jonathan Espria, goes in this one in lane number 6. As does the championship record holder, Daniel Tavares Martins, in lane 4. David Pineda, the silver medalist in the Paralympic Games last year, will go out in lane number 9, the Spaniard. Saudi Arabia well represented at these championships. Idris Sufyani getting a good cheer on 48.02, his lifetime best set this year. We'll go in lane number 8. 23 years of age, silver at the Asian Para Games in 2023 from Indonesia. It is Alvin Nomlani in lane 7. Paralympic champion, silver medalist in Kobe last year. He was 6th in the long jump already at these championships. John Sebastian Fernando Espria in lane number 6. Masuki Daigo, 21 years of age, his first major championships from Japan, in lane number 5, 49.42, his lifetime best set this year. And 3-time world champion, Paralympic champion, it is Daniel Tavares Martins of Brazil in lane number 4. 2015, 17 and 19 for the man who's the championship record holder from Brazil, Tavares Martins. He took silver in Paris in 2023 at the Worlds. Pineda in 9, Sufiani in 8, Nomlani in 7, Bando Espria in 6, Masuki in 5, and Tavares Martins in 4. First 3 automatically through. And we wait. Away they get. Moving strong from the outside. Pineda going to wait to start very hard when you're in lane 9 because you're not sure exactly what's coming behind you. So sometimes they err on the side of caution and go out quick, and that's exactly what he did there. So at the moment, it's Pineda, Sufiani and Nomlani who have gone out fast in front. And it looks like we've already had a withdrawal. We've started back the far side. We'll get some more on that in a moment or two's time. But I think it may well be the actual Paralympic champion who's gone out in the first 15 or 20 metres. It is. So as we come down to the Saudi athlete Sufiani, who has the lead. Pineda on the outside is moving ahead of him. It's going to be a real battle on that third position. I think it's going to be the Indonesian Nomlani at 23 years of age. It is that. It's Pineda who takes it from Sufiani and Nomlani. But the big story to come out of this is that the Paralympic champion, John Bando Espria, has finished and pulled out after the first 15 or 20 metres. He took off a bit sluggishly, and he just pulled up and said, I've had enough. Championship record for Pineda as well in 47.45. He's taken that mark that was set by Tavares Martins back in 2019. Well, I said he went out quick in lane number 9. He went out extremely quick. He knew what he had to do to qualify, and he qualified with a championship record as well.
I think sometimes the blessing of running out in lane 9 is that you have to run blind, and it means that you just go out and you stick with your own rhythm and you go for it. But my goodness, how the tone of that heat will have changed as the athletes were looking around and thinking, hang on a second, someone's missing, and it is a very fast someone, and you can't focus on that. You just have to remember, look, top 3, keep going. It doesn't matter what has happened. I focus on myself.
How often do you see, first of all, lane 7, 8, and 9 as the top 3? And also, Tavares Martins has finished 4th. He has qualified as one of those fastest losers, and we lost the Paralympic champion as well. What a way to finish this morning session on the track. It has been absolute chaos across heat number 2. Not sure exactly what happened to Bando Espria because he took off sluggishly. Now I thought it was just inside that maybe he confused me there, but he looked very slow, and then all of a sudden he's pulled up and he's gone out as we head back to the shop.
And there's 3 to go, and Gara Tanayesh, the twice world champion 2015 in Doha, 2017 in London, and the Rio Paralympic champion in 2016. 10.86. If he improves by half a metre, it's silver. If he improves by a full metre exactly, he takes the gold. He'd have to break the world record to do it. He has to go beyond 10 metres, and he has done that. But it's hard to really see that that's an improvement, and it would be bronze for Tanayesh, just as it was at the Paralympic Games in Paris a year ago. 8 years since his last gold. He is still the reigning Asian Games champion. 2 in a row there. 10.57. That's not enough. 10.86 is best, and it is bronze for the former world and Paralympic champion. Then number 2, Miguel Montero, the reigning European and Paralympic champion. Previously in Worlds, it's 2 silvers and a bronze from silver last year in Kobe. He needs an extra half metre. He needs to go well beyond 10, and it has done so. So 11.31 in the second round to have him second. 11.85 is the lead, and the new world record from Denis Knezhdinov, and he has lost the world record today, Montero, which was 11:60 set in 2022. Big moments, big weight. It's around 11 meters, it's 11:11, and Montero does not add a first world title to his European and Paralympic crowns. It's silver for him, and Knezhdinov takes the gold as a neutral athlete. 11:85 the world record. This is his lap of honour, and can he finish with something really big? He successfully defends his crown. He was the 2021 Paralympic champion that year in Tokyo, 4th outside the medals in Paris last year. Knezhdinov, 11:85. Can he give us something whopping right at the end? It's a great set of marks, 11:79. That would have been a world record as well. Oh ho ho! Well beyond 10. Has he done it again? It's a white flag. And Knezhdinov may have just produced something else special. World record with his third attempt. 11:85 that was. It certainly looks to be beyond 11. He's done it again! Knezhdinov with a world record, 11:92. What a way to win! The former Paralympic champion takes the world crown. It's back-to-back successes for him. He'd taken gold previously in Dubai and in Kobe, and now it's a third world crown for Denis Knezhdinov. A magnificent effort. It's his third throw beyond Montero's old world record mark, and 11:92 is an impressive way to finish. Uncharted territory for him and for anyone else in the sport.
You can see there exactly why he took that world record. He is so fast in that circle. We often don't think about the fact that you're having to accelerate as a thrower. The thing is, the acceleration still happens. It's just happening on a circle instead of in a straight line. I mean, his technique, his form, it is absolutely impeccable. By the time he puts the shot, not only does he have the speed behind it, but every single force vector in his body, his joints, his muscles, they are all lined up. That is why he is the world record holder and the world champion.
Magnificent throw by Knezhdinov. He takes the gold as a neutral athlete. World record 11:92. Miguel Montero the silver for Portugal. Garantanayesh the bronze for Iraq. Good competition that. Many thanks to the officials for holding them back until after that race so we could see the final three and the medals being decided and the latest world record. So Denis Knezhdinov takes it, new world record mark 11:92, a neutral gold. Montero with the silver for Portugal. Garantanayesh the bronze for Iraq. He held the championship record as well, going back to Dubai 2019 when he won gold there. And he denied those two in that day also. And Sergiu Borsch, who's now a powerlifter and who finished 10th in the Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool with his band, finishes 11th from Moldova. Head of qualification, women's club throw F32, Akramova, Uzbekistan, Munagazmi of Algeria, Al-Tabi of the United Arab Emirates, and Leia Myernikova of Slovakia. They are all in the women's club throw final, which is due to be tomorrow.
No surprises who won in the women's discus throw. Kotlowska of Poland, the world record holder, taking her first world championship title. And it was a 2-3 finish for American Jessica Himes and Alicia Guerrero, and of course an area record for Deyawanti of India. And always impressive, a personal best from Addison Francescini of Canada.
Men's shot put F53. That Yawan earlier. What a great day for her. Good day in the discus though for the Americans.
It was a historical day, as this is the first time that in the women's discus there is separation between the F64 and the F44. And here we see Machado Plata taking the gold in the women's F44 discus.
To get himself back up onto the podium once more tonight with the bronze, Matera the silver, and Gnezdilov a really impressive gold medal performance and passed the world record mark 3 times, finishing on 11.92. That was just fantastic. So was this in the discus. That a new star of the sport, 21 years old, Rises Machado, bronze in Paris, silver in Kobe last year. She's the new world champion in the women's discus F44.